Pilot refuses to greet black teen on private jet, shocked when her father, the airline CEO, steps in. You can't board. This flight isn't for you. She blinked, confused. But this is our jet. The pilot didn't even look at her. Just a teenager, just a black girl, standing alone on a runway of silence and assumptions. What he didn't know was, the man he was waiting for, the real passenger, was her father, the CEO of the entire airline. And when he arrived, everything flipped. This isn't just a flight, it's a lesson at 30,000 feet. This is Pilot Refuses to Greet Black Teen on Private Jet. Welcome, story lovers. Where are you watching from? Drop your city below. Avery had always felt most herself in the clouds. At just 16, she was already a licensed student pilot, thanks to the encouragement of her father, Elijah Walker, a man whose love for aviation built one of the country's largest private jet companies from the ground up. But today wasn't about flying, it was about celebrating. Avery had just been accepted into an elite international STEM program. As a surprise, her father arranged for her to fly on one of the family's luxury jets. With her curly hair tied back and a travel journal tucked under her arm, Avery stepped onto the sleek runway at their private airstrip, excitement bubbling in her chest. She waved at the uniformed pilot standing beside the plane, but he didn't wave back. He turned, looked past her, and muttered something under his breath. Avery paused. The air felt different now, heavier. She didn't know it yet, but this flight would reveal more than just altitude. As Avery approached the jet steps, the pilot barely acknowledged her presence. No welcome, no eye contact, nothing. She cleared her throat and introduced herself politely, trying to brush it off as a bad morning. But his response? A cold glance and a dismissive, "I only talk to passengers cleared by command." Confused, Avery opened her bag to show her boarding clearance, but he cut her off. "This is a VIP aircraft. You shouldn't be here." Her hands trembled. "My name is Avery Walker. This is my father's plane." The man raised an eyebrow but didn't budge. "I'll wait for the real passengers." She stood there, stunned, as crew members walked past her without so much as a glance. Her voice caught in her throat. She wasn't just being ignored, she was being erased. When her father arrived minutes later, dressed casually in jeans and a hoodie, the pilot stepped forward and greeted him warmly, thinking he was a chauffeur. Elijah froze. "I'm Elijah Walker, CEO of this airline. And that," he pointed to Avery, "is my daughter, the one you refuse to acknowledge." Silence. Color drained from the pilot's face. Elijah didn't raise his voice. He didn't have to. The weight of his words sliced through the smug air like a propeller through storm clouds. But what happened next, no one saw coming. Without missing a beat, Elijah turned to the cabin crew. "Escort this man off my aircraft, immediately." The pilot stuttered, trying to salvage the moment, muttering about protocol and misunderstandings. But Avery watched her father's face harden. "You saw a young black girl and assumed she didn't belong. You're not fit to fly this plane or any plane under my name." As security arrived to escort him away, whispers spread across the tarmac. Avery stood taller. She wasn't just the daughter of a CEO, she was the future of this industry. The crowd that once ignored her now stared, silent and ashamed. But her father wasn't done. He stepped onto the stairs and turned to everyone watching. "If you can't see brilliance in her, you don't deserve the sky." Dear audience, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to give it a like. It helps. The flight took off that afternoon, without the pilot who couldn't see past his prejudice. Avery sat in the cockpit beside a new captain, one who celebrated her journey, not her skin. The story hit national news within hours, sparking a wave of conversations about implicit bias in elite industries. Elijah didn't stop at firing the pilot, he launched a scholarship for young pilots of color, naming it after Avery. But it wasn't about revenge, it was about rewriting the rules of who gets to fly, who gets to lead, and who gets to dream. Avery never forgot that day, not because of the hurt, but because she realized her wings were stronger than anyone's doubt.
How many more girls are standing at doors that won't open until someone shows them they belong in the sky? Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel for more powerful stories and new videos. Take care.